sorts of surgery, and a lot of it was done in conditions just intense, just a fairly short way back of the front lines. I think many of you probably seen the TV series MASH.
Absolutely, yes.
Any of you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's more truth than fiction to that. But that's where people, after leaving the battalion aid station, that's where they went first. And they did a lot of primary surgery right there. As a matter of fact, that's where the surgery that was done on me was done. And then I arrived at the MASH unit on a helicopter. In those days, the helicopters weren't big enough to put people inside of them. You remember seeing they had the litters on the outside? Yeah. Oh, by the way, those blasted things aren't long enough. And that was an awful tight fit for me. Anyway, in there, and what surgery was done, so on, then off to the big hospital in Tokyo, and then eventually back to States. But the military medical program is doggone good.
Oh, yeah. When we were in combat in the earlier stages of the war, there was no MASH unit there. The MASH unit came in later.
Oh, yeah.
But at first, when you got shot or blow a leg off, they had to put you in a Jeep, take you all the way back, hope the Jeep doesn't get interrupted, but take you all the way back to Aid Station 1. They would wrap it up, put a tourniquet on it or whatever it needed, Aid Station 2.
Another thing about the Korean War, the early days of it, although we had occupation troops in Japan, had there for 5 years, they had little, if any, field training. So when those units, the first units went to Korea, they were ill-trained,
Yep.
ill-equipped, and ill-led. And I don't know if the people back here in the States realize that, but they weren't, all those units in Japan were there just having a good time. And they had little or no field experience. And that goes right back to the commanding general of the Far East Command out there. But this is why I keep saying that we've got to keep maintaining
We had a general that
armed forces.
he believed that every month we go on field maneuvers up in Mount Fuji. And that's why our unit was more ready to go, except for the recruits that came in when I came in. We had no combat experience or nothing that even looked like it. And machine gun firing over your head, crawling on your stomach, gun and barbed wire. Only problem about that in Kentucky, you run into them damn snakes. You may laugh, boy, but it'd be some big old water moccasins or rattlesnakes.
And mud.
Tell me, oh, bud, tell me about it. But no, it wasn't a joyride. But the general that was in charge, and I can't remember his name, he didn't believe in sitting on your butt. He took you out in the field on maneuvers, and which I felt at the time, I didn't get in on it. I said, it's a waste of time. So there's going to be no war, but he was preparing, and he was right. The old-timers made it. A lot of them made it. A lot of them starved to death in prison camp. I thought maybe somebody would ask what was the diet like, but nobody did. At first, we got cracked corn, field corn. Now, do you know the difference between sweet corn and field corn?
Yep.
Field corn has nothing for you. It's only for animals.
It's hard.
And you can boil it for a week, and you still can't chew it. Sweet corn has a lot of vitamins and stuff like that in it, and it's soft and nice. We got that at first, and a lot of guys' digestive systems wouldn't adjust to it. And then when this was under the, see, what would happen, what happened with us, the Chinese captured us and turned us over to the North Koreans to guard, and they went back to fight. No meat, no potatoes, no green vegetables, no nothing, because they didn't have it. Guys were dying so fast that the Chinese said, whoa, wait a minute, something's off, we won't have anybody to exchange. So they started bringing, because we could see China right across the river. So they put them on those, we call them yachts, that you pull a stick back and forth. They came across with green vegetables, pork, beef, fish. And you couldn't eat it at first because your stomach was not, your stomach had gotten unaccustomed. This was in 51, in the spring of 51. And people don't think you can lose that, but you can. And guys were sick, and we had no hospital though. We had 2 American doctors. And they would give them some white powder in a little bag and say, you give it to the ones you think they're going to live. Now, what was the white powder? They couldn't tell them. They didn't know. And it was a dog-eat-dog world, really, in that sense, because we had nothing, no control. Dr. Shaddy's from California. I knew him well. He and I were on the committee together. And he did the best he could. He spoke to the Congress about what to expect from the Korean POWs. And he was right on so far. He was right on. He's passed away now. But he said heart attacks, high blood pressure, hypertension. He named off everything you could think of. And I'll be darned, just about all of us that were there have it. I've been very fortunate that Mrs. Fletcher stays on me. I have to give her credit. Out of 7 children, I'm the only one living, and I'll be 85 this year. And she makes sure I eat right. I'll look at it, she'll say, eat it.
85, you're just a kid.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
You're just a kid.
But to go through what I went through, I feel like I'm 185. I've got a lot of serious things wrong with me. I've had 2 heart attacks. I've had both knees replaced. I've had hand surgery, and my hands are right now numb on the ends. They're going to try to open up a larger carpal, and I can't put the thumb to the little finger where you can. The muscle's gone in here, so they're going to attach something there so that maybe I can pull it over. I don't know.
What keeps you going? What keeps you 1 foot in front of the other? Her.
See that finger?
Yep, I do. I see.
Yes, that's what keeps me going.
Mhm.
We just get up in the morning and start moving.
Yeah, no, but it really is.
That's about what.
Her and my children.
Mhm.
Her and my children keep me going. I have 2 daughters, and we had a son who passed away, and now we got 1 son. And my two daughters, they keep check on me. So bad is my wife. Yeah.
So, Mr. Fletcher, you mentioned Vietnam in passing. And I was just wondering, having gone through the Korean War, the living hell on the ground, your reaction to watching Vietnam unfold must have been, I don't know, maybe different. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, the biggest difference I saw in the two wars was that they had trained men that they sent over there. They may have been young, but they were trained. They equipped them well, and they had a budget for them. My son-in-law was in the Tet Offensive, and when he was talking about it, I could understand exactly what he was going through. That Japanese banzai attacks, like I call them. But the biggest difference I saw was that too many people were trying to run that war.
Amen. You know, you're right. The big problem, I think, in the Vietnam War is that the President and the Secretary of Defense were trying to run it,
Yeah.
even down to the tactical level in the field from Washington, 10,000 miles away. And it doesn't work.
No, don't work one bit.
And that was the big problem, that the political people back in Washington were trying to run the thing.
You gotta leave it to the field generals and the field officers.
Well, yeah, I don't care what business you're in, whether it's in the armed forces or in a business. The person on the spot is in the best position to make decisions.
The Air Force was our lifeline in Korea. They saved us many a time, especially with napalm, which is outlawed now. They don't use it, but we used to call it bouncing jelly. You drop it at the bottom of the mountain, it would run almost to the top. And anything in its path is dead. And so when they would start an attack, we'd call in, and like you say, the Corsairs were the best.
Yeah, the Corsairs and the Mustangs.
Yeah.
They were the best because they could carry a big load. They would stay around for a while. You kind of kept your fingers crossed when they were dropping a 500-pound bomb 50 yards ahead of you.
Yeah, right.
But they were doggone nice to have around.
And they were very accurate, you know. They didn't just bomb discriminately.
My college roommate was Air Force, and unfortunately he arrived in Korea a few weeks after I left. And we are both absolutely convinced that if he and his airplanes and me and my tanks were there at the same time, that damn war would have been over 2 years before it was.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Do you have any final advice or final words for our audience here today? We have quite a few RTC cadets, maybe
Well,
some advice for them?
The only thing I can say is wonderful seeing you coming out to understand what went on in Korea.
Yes,
Not too many people really understand what went on in Korea. That's why it's not talked about. That's why it's not shown a lot on TV. It's either Second World War or Vietnam. Oh, by the way, they'll say we had a war in between. But they don't even like to use the name. But go ahead.
well, yes, it is very interesting to see that there are at least a few people around who remember the forgotten war.
Yeah.
And it's, pleasant, and I've enjoyed being able to be here and answer your questions and make some comments, and I hope that you've learned something.
We've got, so this is our,
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks an awful lot for coming.
this is our initial event for Veterans Week. I have flyers up here on the counter if you want to get some more or find out more of what we do. We've also got a couple of gifts for our gentleman up here. Just a second. So I don't know if you're U of M fans, Bill, I think you are. But we do, we have here we have a mug for you.
Well, thank you.
It has a couple things inside, like a little U of M hand sanitizer and a chapstick and a little lapel pin with the U of M flag. If you don't like it, you can give it as a gift. I also
Wait a minute, I'm a Spartan.
I know. I also have for you here, right here, is one of our challenge coins. It's a coin we give out to our special guests.
Well, thank you
So
very much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
We get to one here in the flesh. I don't know if I gave you one last year, sir, or not.
I don't know if it did either.
Here's our, oh, there's a pen too, I got a little pen here for you. So one of our cups, U of M cup, it's good for coffee and for hot cocoa. And, here's one of our challenge coins to you, thank you very much.
Oh, you're entirely welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. I've got a pen. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming too. I appreciate it.
Walk downstairs with that coffee cup, they're gonna wonder what happened to you down here.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
You got corrupted or something.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it very much.
It's been very interesting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And you'll see him again in a half an hour.
In a half an hour, we'll be right back here. I coordinate intern and military services here on campus, so. And I'm in the Air Force, so I was happy to hear it. Good shots out to the Air Force. We'd like to hear that.
Well, there is some
Exactly. We like hearing that.
My thought was that they had to keep a certain standard of Bruce in
we want to get someplace where it's quiet.
They couldn't get discharged without standing. And I think that's why some of the guys. Oh, that'd be great. Same thing happened in the not all the troops went there. Some of them. Well, I try to keep in touch. I'm not on the advisory board, the board committee. Had to retire. You would travel. Meeting in the spring, DC, and meeting in the fall in California.
We'll try it. I gotta see if I'm found it works.
The Cranmore Veterans are, but
What do you think about what's going on? Thank you very much, ma'am. It's great to meet you. Army or?
that could be a very good answer. Right, probably that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I need to get a hold of what you
Right.